It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Go and let somebody know that I am live and on. Mm, that's my phone. Let somebody know that I am live. I am here. I got a lot to talk about today. When we talk about Black history, I'm talking about Black present. We could talk about Black history, and I do. We do. But some stuff going on in the lives of Black folks right now that we better get it. Now, I'm going to tell you that. We better get it and understand that change does not come easy. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Black Now, the president of the United States of America has nominated the first African-American woman to serve, hopefully, on the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land. We're going to talk about that. A lot happened this week.
A lot.
3 men convicted on the federal level. Ahmaud Arbery, we say his name. 3 men who tracked him down like he was a dog. Convicted. People are falling all over this land for hate crimes, and although it breaks my heart that we have lost great lives, people got to pay for this.
Absolutely,
it's time out. Like, and if Africans living in America understand our power, collective power, and this army that my guest has been talking about with me, and we talk about it a lot. But I'm going to talk about this today. We can remember the past, but let us not forget the present. Because if we stay only in the past and don't let that help build us up, we will fail in the present. And whether y'all know it or not, including Buffalo, folks want Buffalo back now.
Yes, they do.
Now, a few years ago, wasn't nobody trying to be mayor, wasn't nobody trying to be anything in the city of Buffalo except get out. And many folks who moved out are moving back in. And when they move back in, some folk don't just want to live here.
They want it all.
Y'all better pay it. We better pay attention. And I'll give him his props for saying it over and over. Nate, you say, pay attention, what did he say? Nate, pay attention. And you do have to pay attention. Welcome to everybody on Facebook. Welcome to everybody on YouTube. Welcome to everybody on AM and FM. I got my man Ross in the house. I'm going to get him right at the top of the hour. And then I've got Ashley waiting in the wings to talk about some tutoring stuff. Hopefully I'm going to be able to recruit her to do some stuff over here. So I want you to stay tuned. And those of you who are parents, I'm going to be asking her questions about how we can help our own. And then what her service is. Because I'm in this mode, and I keep telling y'all, I unashamedly lift African Americans.
Yes.
Nobody else has to apologize for that. When they lift, and I'm all right with it. When different cultures lift their cultures and shop in their shops, it's okay. Do you know? And I'm just gonna say this, that there are cemeteries that you and I can't be buried in. Right now, today, in the city of, right on the outskirts, at least one of them. But right there, right at the city line, you can't be buried there. Nope. I can't be buried there. And that's okay, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm okay with that if that's going to be the precedent, so that when we say African-American, we're all these, and I'm getting off the subject, but I got Ross, so he can chime in. When these folks are on the conservative talk shows talking about Biden shouldn't have picked a black, or shouldn't have said it as he was going to pick a black woman, period. Go look at the history of the Supreme Court.
Yep.
White males. Go up to, and this, this is why I keep telling black folks, stop hurting one another, because go look in the hall of the city council chambers. It wasn't too long ago before we had the first black council president. They were all white males.
All look alike.
And it was okay. There was no problem when it was all white males. The first black mayor of Buffalo is not Byron Brown. He's the first elected black mayor, but he was not the first black mayor. King Peterson had to fill in as mayor, who was my parents' next door neighbor.
Really?
King Peterson. So when his grandkids would come here from D.C., we would talk out of the window to one another. Houses in Buffalo, right, like that big. So King Peterson, I forgot the history of it, but Byron is the first elected black male.
Got it.
However, King Peterson sat in the mayor's chair.
And
first.
I did just see a post. He represented the Ellicott district.
Because that was at that time the Ellicott district where he lived. And King Peterson, I'm going to mess up this history, was related to Reverend McCarley, who McCarley Gardens is named. Not King, but his wife was a McCarley.
Okay.
And so when the talk of selling McCarley came up, and I'm going to explain that in a minute, everybody who want to know whether St. John still owns McCarley Gardens, I'm going to tell the truth so that y'all understand. All right, because rumors I'm sitting at the table. I'm the one that makes the votes, that gives votes. So I'm going to tell you the truth on that. So King Peterson, yeah. So Ross, what's up, bruh?
I'm just
happy
to be in the place.
Pull that mic up. We don't have the mics like over at the studio.
All right.
What?
I'm happy. I'm good to be here. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought about 30 jokes to tell, but I was like, I gotta just cool out because I can't get my comments in on Facebook sometimes when I'm working.
You can say whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say.
I think it's beautiful to be able to in real time bring access to history, access to present, and also access to future.
Yeah.
And those things only take place when you have an open, free voice.
Yes, sir.
And we have to really pay attention to how important black media is in this 21st century, because with all of the good things happening,
Yes, sir.
there's a time in history that was even more dangerous, or this might be even close. In the 1880s, 1890s, when black people were allowed to vote, they elected people, and there was something called the backlash.
Come on, Ross.
That removed first congressmen, representatives. There was record amounts of our people participating and doing very well. And rules and laws were made, where people who were super intelligent began to make up tests like, guess how many jelly beans in this jar, if you're able to vote.
And that's the truth.
Okay, so we need to know history, but we don't want to turn into a pillar of salt. We got to Sankofa this thing. We got to face forward, look back, and keep it moving.
You my brother.
I just want to interpret so we don't lose nobody.
Right, and I know you're here for something else, but when I get guests in the studio, I pick their brain.
All right.
Were you always as culturally aware as you are today?
I was culturally aware to what was in front of my eyes.
Wow.
I was raised in church. I was raised in Calvary Baptist Church.
Okay.
Under Reverend L.T. Boyce.
L.T. Boyce.
And there were many other ministers who are now adults who were there, and many other generations of people.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of my time with my grandparents. I didn't cause too much trouble when I was little, so I was always allowed. Well, you had to learn how to do those things. If you cause trouble or not, when you're in public, there's certain things you did and didn't do.
That's right.
Without raising your voice, or just a slight eyebrow move don't move for like the next 4 hours. And you just did it.
Yeah.
But being raised around those elder people, I got a chance to see and hear what they were talking about, what their values were, and that preceded me even going to school. As a matter of fact, I went to school with that knowledge. I was a product of busing, so I went to the other neighborhoods and all those things, did well there, still came back home. So I was like able to be dipped in a lot of environments. I lived in the hood, so I watched what happened in the streets, and so I knew what was happening, but I didn't have to partake of everything. So that helped precede things. Getting a chance to listen to music, going to college, getting a chance to, listen to Nation Islam, listen to all of the different thoughts. It began to make me start asking questions, and it was a little frustration period where the adults didn't know where we were coming from, but I kept on asking. And the answers really, it might have made it appear as though we were maybe going outside, but in fully adding, I think, right now, to keep it short, adding our history,
Yeah.
taking a look at the Bible, looking at either one of those things separate is like you half cocked. If you combine them together,
Yeah. Yeah.
even the things that the enemy has used to keep us away,
Yep.
it'll vanquish.
Yeah.
So what happens is if we knock, we shall find. Knock, doors shall be open. Seek, we shall find. But if we don't stay diligent to what our conscience is telling us to do, and this whole society, especially for the last 402 years, is encouraging us not to look within self.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's contrary to what the elders in the churches were singing and talking about.
Yeah.
So it's always a battle for like our mind, our spirit. Pastor Smith was there, so on. It's always a battle for our heart and our mind.
Yeah.
And without us sharing the reference points that we had with older people, they're gonna try to take that generation away from us. The
Right.
devil, whether people believe it or not, his work ethic is impeccable.
Yep. Oh, he's a hard worker, bro. He's a hard
If
worker.
we could only learn.
He's a hard,
If we could only learn.
he works harder than
Yeah.
anybody I know.
Right. And so it's like one of those kind of battles that don't really stop. But we got to be able to take a rest so we can refresh each other's spirits, move forward. And I think the more we know, the better prepared we are to fight against slavery or bondage or captivity,
Yeah.
whatever way you want to say it.
Yeah.
Whether it's, you know,
Because
sin
there's still
against-
captivity. And anybody who pretends that it's not, go ask if you could go to the next, like, go ask Ahmad,
Yep.
who was this, and I hate to mix all this, but who was described
Right.
in public by an attorney as having dirty feet.
Yep.
I can't get that out of my head that in 2021, when she said it, I believe it was 2021, that was she thought that was acceptable to come out of her mouth.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to get too far into this thing, but at the same time, we're celebrating Juneteenth after 400 years, the 12th holiday. It's like a seal, 12. You all have your numbers that you do in the church. I got your numbers. Well, the number 12, is the end of the cycle. So as we're celebrating Juneteenth, you have a whole nother demonic spirit still fighting the Civil War. So when you see the Confederate flag, for all y'all who travel below the Mason-Dixon line, you know the history.
gotta
and the
travel that
culture.
far.
You ain't
Absolutely.
gotta travel that
You don't
far.
have to travel
You don't
that
have
far
to
anymore.
travel that far. You could travel out the county line. Well, not even the county
I
line.
was in
depending-
Hamburg the other
yeah.
day,
I was
and a
gonna
brother
say,
had it
yeah.
on, not a brother,
Yeah.
a person
Yeah.
had it on their truck.
Yeah. So persons from the older cultures remember how your family acted when you were traveling. It's like, hey, we going down south, like, we need y'all to do this. So all of the people now are watching Emmett Till, young people, older people. We're getting a retasting, a refreshing of that. And I think that these times have given other ethnicities a real insight to what black people have been saying all along. It's post-racial America, it's post-racial. You guys just keep making it up. Well, now, 2020, even with COVID and the corona, the signing of the light, everybody has seen clearly who is who and what is what. Now we ask the Most High to give us the courage to accept the reality that He has showed us.
Yeah, because he has shown us.
Yeah, and now we need our best selves to come out.
Yes. What you here for today, Russ?
Today I'm here.
Thank you.
I am
Thank
here
you.
because one of the things in being our best selves is this whole aspect of, it's multi aspects. One is being able to live, to make money, to learn a career, and to be able to have enough resources to make your daily, to have your daily bread.
Yeah.
There are many people. I'm on the WIB board. We understand Buffalo's poverty rate, 30% of the adults in poverty. Okay, but there's 50, maybe 60% of people who are working poor.
Yeah.
So that means that you're working and you still can't make your ends meet.
Yeah,
You still
yeah,
don't have
yeah.
health insurance. That stresses you. It stresses your family. It stresses the community. It stresses your education. It stresses your concept of self.
Yeah.
One of the things that many people have been able to do, Dr. King was talking about this before he was assassinated. He was directing us to start looking towards unions to understand how that organized power can be leveraged to get what's fair. This whole thing about economic justice is an area that he was moving in. That's where he was at in his last book, Where to Go From Here, Castle Community. So But that's not a dreaming king, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about that in another show too. But that's not a dreaming king. That's very clear. It's very descriptive, and you got instructions.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but what I'm communicating now is there's an infrastructure bill. I've been writing about this a little bit in the Challenger and some of the papers talk about it on our radio show. Infrastructure bill was communicated two parts, but one part did pass, and that's going to be, you know, a $1.5–2 trillion worth of infrastructure.
Right.
And I told everybody that as the infrastructure bill comes in, established people, companies, organizations are going to be the main ones who have the most competent ways of getting that money.
Yes.
And people in those organizations are going to be the ones who get employed.
Let's
to
say it
receive
again.
that.
Established, and I said this a few
Yeah.
3 weeks ago on this show. When these dollars come in,
Right.
I mean, we holler about I want my potholes fixed and I
Right.
want sinkholes fixed, but some people don't think about how can I benefit
Right.
personally
Right.
from this money
Right.
so that I can
Right.
get my daily bread.
So that goes back into this other thing we've been talking about, community, and it's
Yep.
still the reality.
Yep.
Because we don't understand civics, we don't understand policy, we don't understand the train of money. So once money comes through to do this, it comes from the government. It has to be spent this way. Where are we in the equation of putting ourselves in a position to do better? So to keep it short, I work for the Carpenters Union. I do have a day job.
Yes, you
A lot of
do.
people don't know I have a day job. I don't just make jokes and play drums. No. But stop laughing. It's a serious show. So
Not always.
so what I'm doing is I'm trying to show our community how do you get into a carpenters union.
Yeah.
When we were able to even have church, and even for Easter's, I would even stand in front of, or in the back of,
Yes, you
of
would.
the halls to,
Yes,
to-
you
just
would.
to talk to people about how we can even resurrect financially.
Right.
Because constant money changes your priorities. Constant legal money, because I'm in the hood. I'm speaking to my people. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
WFO
Yes,
radio,
sir.
so I can
Yes,
say it
sir.
straight. Yeah, constant legal money. Constant legal money. I just say it one more time. Constant legal money. That changes how our lifestyles are.
Absolutely.
It prevents a lot of the people might get into little arguments on a job, but when you're working hard and everybody got legal money coming, the last thing you're gonna do at the end of the day or the end of the week is gonna have some grudges where you fight somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Usually you're too darn tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So at nighttime, there's certain schedules. Unless you're working at night, there's certain schedules you have. There's a lifestyle in hard work, and many of our community don't get a chance to see that because our families have not been the ones in most of the union jobs, especially skilled trades, building
Right.
trades. So I think that one of the most important things to do is we have to talk with our community on how do you get in, what are the prerequisites, what you need to bring, and it's going to be important. It's beautiful you having a show. This whole thing about tutoring and math. There are so many opportunities coming to Buffalo right now, but if your basket don't have no bottom, you can't catch the blessings. And some of the prerequisites are we have to be prepared to meet opportunity too.
Right.
You would be surprised how many people can't do math on a sixth grade level. 'Cause that's we used to have a math test. We don't have that anymore. That's what it used to be on. But we still have to do math. We still have to understand. So not only am I going to bring the union to talk to the community. This is going to be at the Delavan Grider Community Center.
So the
on
Carpenters
Wednesday.
Union.
The Carpenters Union itself. The
Okay.
Carpenters Union is going to be coming Wednesday, March 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 12. It's going to be free, open to the public. But in addition to that, we're going to bring 4 contractors who employ the union contractors. One is going to be 34 Group. 34 Group is Thurman Thomas's company. He has a
Absolutely.
company that hires union employees,
Absolutely.
have a lot of people of color and women working for them. There's another company, Bucket Pro. They're a new company signed. They're going to be doing concrete work. They're going to have work coming. The company called Screw Fire out of Niagara Falls. These are the people who hire our people. When you see the hotels, you see harbor centers. Contractors hire the workers. The workers have to be skilled. We train and get the workers ready. So even just understanding that process about, what type of education. Some people are going to go to university, and that's great. But there's other educational programs that can train you to have a career. I left the sheet over there. You can talk about it later about the kind of numbers where, just say in Erie County, northward of $60 an hour is what a journeyman carpenter gets in combination of their cash and their benefits.
How much you say?
Northward of $60 an hour. So I think it's like 62 or 63 in Erie County. So what I'm saying is in your wages, $32, $33 per hour in your wages.
Yeah.
And then we have benefits, and I want to communicate these benefits. We have 2 retirement packages. a pension and an annuity, and we also have guaranteed health care. And that's, most unions have things pretty similar to
Right.
that. But that is the standard that other cultures have realized is necessary to have a good life. It's just that our people have not been included in the paradigm based upon our population and our numbers. And in order for continuation to take place, we need to be in the place. And that goes back, if we want to talk about history, that is what Booker T. Washington, it really was an argument, I would say, between Booker T. Washington and W.B. Du Bois. Both of them are right. You need political, and you also need the financial. And we see right now that
Absolutely.
one without the other
Absolutely.
is not going to work. But now we don't have professions that we're passing down to our children.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your whole family were the blacksmith. Your whole family were carpenters. Those
Absolutely.
are your skills were passed. So without that continuity, we're going to have to learn how to build churches, how to build apartments.
Absolutely.
So that is some of the things that we want to do. But our community needs to understand it, because this infrastructure money is coming, and this also gets you into the apprenticeships.
You need
how
to be
can
in it to
learn.
win it.
Yeah,
And
the money's coming. Money's on the table.
What some people don't understand, especially with government contracts and City of Buffalo contracts, they have to have a certain percent of MWBs or minorities on that job.
And when it's over a certain threshold, we're supposed to have apprentices, and the apprentices
Absolutely.
should be the ones who are being trained to be professional. Now, just follow the law.
I mean, if you follow the bouncing ball, but what we found out is that some
What
of
we
these
find out-
companies
what we find
were
out-
getting apprentices that were people in their family.
And it's nothing wrong if they're really registered, but if they're not being really trained, and
Absolutely.
you're just
Giving them
you're
a
just,
check.
you're just giving checks and not doing things the right
Absolutely.
way. So understanding and knowing, and I think that is what our community just needs to be in the know for more opportunity.
Wednesday, March 22nd.
March
10
2nd. March 2nd. Next.
Oh, March
yeah,
2nd.
yeah,
I
next-
took off my
ne-
glasses.
next-
I'm
next-
sorry. I see
next
all
week.
these twos.
Yep.
This Wednesday coming up then.
Yes, sir.
10 to 12. They don't need to, do they need to register?
No, we're not asking for no registration. We want to give the information to tell people how to get onto the path.
All right. Listen, if you are underemployed or if you're just
Yeah.
interested in carpentry.
And people who even thinking about career changes, you would not believe how many people are
Yeah.
career changing because they're rethinking.
Absolutely.
You know.
Carpenters Union, get employed.
Thank
Wednesday, Delavan Grider Community Center, 877 East Delavan, this Wednesday, 10 to 12. Show up on time, show up with an open mind, and thank you, Ross. Appreciate you.
Left a gift for you.
This is my man. Now, Ross, who gives me great. Now, the word communiversity that we have here at Trebethel came out of Ross's mouth on the radio show. We're coming up with names,
Yep.
and you said communiversity. It's stuck. It's still there. Now that we're coming out of this pandemic, we're reactivating and getting those things. Thanks, Ross.
In case the Lord sends something that you can't even see,
Yeah.
close down schools and other things, black institutions, churches, are one of the main protected armies of people that we still can speak the Spirit and do it if we desire.
Amen. That's Ross. That's Ross. For those of you who don't know, but I'm sure everybody who's watching this show knows, and everybody who's listening on this show, they know Ross. That's March the 2nd. Delavan Grider Community Center. First woman, black woman, African American woman is being nominated by the president, expected to be confirmed on the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Now, let me say this to you Africans living in America, and to the friends of the Africans living in America who live in Buffalo, Western New York, Lackawanna, wherever you're at. At the end of the day, there is opportunities, just like Ross just talked about, for people who get it. And what we got to stop doing here, the reason many of our young people move is because we still haven't grasped how to support one another and lift up.
Yep.
This is still, by and large, a town that some people love to hate. They just love to hate.
Yep.
And then these same young people can move and
Excel.
be without the stress
Yep.
of worrying about the next man trying to pull them down while they're trying to pull up. So congratulate. Let me get my glasses on. You know, they're foggy because
Did you got the name? Because I looked it up because I wanted to
I
call it.
got it. I got
Okay.
it.
All right.
I got it. I got so many pieces of paper here. I had so much I wanted to talk about. Judge Ketanji Brown. I like the first name. She got what?
yeah.
You're not gonna mistake this woman. What's your lawyer name? Katanji.
Yeah.
Katanji.
And I can't wait till they put the plate on the door.
Katanji.
And somebody who ain't never had to put that kind of name on.
You better spell it right. Because this ain't Cindy.
No.
And this ain't Sarah.
Not at all.
And this not, what do they call women who, what they call, what is it?
Karen.
This is not Karen. This is not Judge Karen Brown. This is her mother, her parents. She was born. They looked at her and said, this is Katanji.
That's it.
And what I love about it, in the past, now we still ain't there yet. I don't care what anybody says. We ain't there yet. America is not there yet.
No.
But in the past, if you had a name like Katanji, your application your application ain't even getting looked at. Katanji, Sarah, Cindy, Karen. We're gonna interview Cindy and Karen.
Yep.
Send Katanji her letter that the position is no longer open.
And what I don't think people realize, and I learned this more when I was at the medical campus, there is certain parameters for large employers. It's mainly just a computer system. So you think there's actually a human reading your resume. No. It's literally a computer program that literally goes line by line on your application or your resume, and if it finds one disqualifier, you automatically
It just takes you out.
It just takes you
Well,
out.
see, the disqualifier for years, and still is.
Name.
By the way, speaking of racial justice, a gentleman in Rochester, New York, just won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit,
Challenger.
like 90 million or something like that, against McDonald's.
Yeah.
He was a franchisor and or franchisee, and he sued them because they would only give him like the black stores, and they would, when they would inspect and all that, they were harder on his store.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna say this. I understand.
I was getting ready to say, I know you
Because
do.
I understand. Now I can say it. Knock on wood, they might try to sue me, but I'm gonna tell the truth. Subway, they would come in here to inspect, and they come in here with white gloves. The other folks who I would talk to who had stores, when I would tell them our stories, would be like, oh no, such and such just comes in our store and has coffee. Oh, really? Oh, really?
No.
So when people stop eating Subway and decide to be fat again, the one I was in a long-term lease. The one thing that saved me was I wasn't the landlord, and the landlord decided not to renew their lease, and we got out.
Absolutely.
And then every other Subway owned by African Americans in this area has closed down.
Yep.
So I understand, bruh. But here's the problem, and there's an article I have here, why people don't report, hate crimes and all that. Because when we do, it's almost like you got to spend $1 million. He was able to because he was I think, former NFL player or something. So he had dope.
Yeah.
So he could go get an attorney. But if some of these franchisers we need to take some of these franchises and take them to court, because I have heard over and over the stories of African Americans who have these, and then they come in, and I'm telling you, the unfair treatment that is out there, and that I heard from other franchisers who were African American, and with that company was horrible.
And now, because it's also tipping in my world with Brian Flores, the former NFL head coach, who's literally suing the NFL and 3 NFL teams for some of those same reasons.
Absolutely.
Because we have the NFL has the Rooney Rule, which is supposed to be, for those who don't follow football, every time there's a coaching or executive position open, you are supposed to hire a certain amount of minorities, specifically black people. And some coaches are getting tired of just going through the motions, and now they're trying to figure out how to redo it. But at some point, somebody had to put their foot down, and for him, he even said, I know this could be risking me working in the NFL again.
Absolutely.
And going back to your article, that's why we don't speak out, because I could stop the financial power that can change the rest of my family's life for standing up for this one moment right now.
Absolutely. Monique is on her lunch break. Let me check into this because she was the manager. Listen to this. I'll tell it now. The little inspector guy came by here, and he was writing the store for something. And Monique had her engagement ring on. He knew who she was engaged to. He said to her, well, I guess he won't be marrying you, huh? Or something to that effect.
What?
Oh, it was all kinds of shady, inappropriate. And then when he wanted to leave the company, he wanted me to give him a recommendation.
Stop.
Call Monique, you think your husband could? I'll give you.
I'll recommend you.
I'll give you. Somebody hold my tongue. It's too close to Sunday. I'll give you the recommendation of the bottom of this. Anyway, I digress. So congratulations, and we are praying because we need somebody for real of color.
Absolutely.
For real of color.
For real.
On the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
Who understands the struggles of people, period, but especially of people who have lived in this country of color. Congratulations, Judge Katanja, soon to be Justice. I pray, Katanja. Now, I'm going to say this. If Clarence Thomas can make it through, you can't tell me Katanja can't.
And I think Clarence was almost unanimous in the Senate.
Oh, it was horrible, though. The story and he had his own story. Why
did you just?
Why did I almost put my mask on as my glasses? 57. You won't get me that way. You won't get no devil.
Not live.
Let me talk about real quick the three men convicted on the federal level. They had already been convicted on
the
state level, but this is a hate crime on the federal level. Convicted again. My heart breaks for Ahmaud's family, but in order for something to live, something dies. And I want to thank God for him, but I want to thank God for his mother, because this case would never have even gotten looked like they had shut this thing down.
Yep.
But don't mess with a black woman.
No.
Don't mess. A woman scorned is one thing, but a black woman hurt. Bruh. You're a beast. I'm thankful for her, and I'm thankful for the jurors. A sheriff just got fired, or he quit because he has some negative comments about basically that, and I printed it, but the first page didn't print. Sheriff Cullen Telton. Oh, no. That's who notified him that he was suspended without pay. But basically, he says that Ahmaud basically got the death penalty. Yeah, he did, you idiot.
Dumb.
So just saying stupid. Lord have mercy. If I didn't love the Lord, he heard my cry, pitied every groan. Long as I live and troubles rise, I hasten to his throne. If I wasn't saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, thank you, Lord Jesus.
The mighty burning fire.
I would say some words. Because the ignorance of people, and then the ignorance of people who think it's not ignorant. And why are we still talking about Donald Trump? Why is Donald Trump still weighing in on anything?
And that's where I was getting ready to go. The fact that the Trumponians feel extra comfortable because they like, hey, he made it all the way to the White House and could say whatever he wants. Now they feel that extra comfortable to be who they are.
And thank God they are.
And thank God they are.
Thank God.
Because you just exposed yourself.
And I'm glad about it. Let's let it be what it is, so I know to cross the street when I see you.
Absolutely.
I'd rather that. Let me move out of your way, or you move out of my way, or I ain't got to be bothered with you. I know the Bible tells me to love everybody. I love them. I don't have to be bothered with them. The Bible never said I had to be bothered with you to love you. I can love you and not have to be bothered with you.
Don't have to like you.
Don't have to talk to you. And my favorite button on this social media is called block and delete. Just block and delete. Because they love to get together. It's about 4 of them who get together when I'm talking about something political. 4 of them. Don't none of them live on Northampton. Don't none of them patronize a black business. I can promise you.
None of them.
But got so much to say about black people when we rise up. So I don't hear much more because I don't even pause now. I have a block and delete party. Block and delete party. Ashley, tutoring.
Yes, sir.
What's up with you? Bring that mic close to you. Ashley Jones, tutoring. What's going on?
Tutoring is great.
How's the business?
It's good.
Tell me about your business. What are you here for today?
I'm here just to talk about education, to promote parents and families to do more.
So I know you got a business, so I know you ain't
Yes.
trying to give away all your secrets.
No.
But so parents can contact you. And what you tutor, like kindergarten to 1st grade?
No, I tutor all grades. K through 8.
K through 8.
Yes. K through 8.
In all subjects?
All subjects.
So you got one of those little big brains?
Yeah.
You got a big brain?
I think so.
So you go out or they come to
They
you?
come to me. I'm at my dad's church, so Mount Aaron Baptist Church.
Mount Aaron.
38 Genesee Street, so right on Genesee and Jefferson. So that
Your dad charge you rent?
No, he doesn't charge me rent. I'm his daughter. And we have everything there. We have laptops, computers, everything. So that's
I
why
didn't
I'm
know
there.
you were at a location.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have everything there. We have laptops, computers.
Have you seen in the students that you tutor an increase in their grades?
Yes, definitely. Even the ones that I was tutoring in high school, that go to like Cheektowaga, like passing math. Math is hard in high school. So definitely,
yeah.
seeing an increase in that. And even like because I started in the pandemic, so when kids went back to school, they were kind of behind. So that's why parents was really, because I was trying to like take a little break. But parents was like, no, we need you. We need to work on these things. And it does help like extra. Like I tell people all the time, when I was in high school, my mom had a tutor for me. I needed it.
What was your hardest subject?
Math.
Okay.
Math was hard for
But
me.
so and now you're tutoring in math?
Yeah.
So math was hard for me too.
Math
It
was
still
hard
is.
for me in high school. Math was always that one subject that I just did not get with. But I had a tutor, and that's what really made the difference. It wasn't
So did
class.
something just open up in your brain?
I think
after
that
you-
one-on-one time. Sometimes
Okay.
some kids need one-on-one.
Okay.
Like whole group. You don't always get whole group. Like some classes are 25 to 30 kids. That's not realistic. Or sometimes even small groups. So I think me having that one-on-one time with the tutor, that's what made a difference for me. Like I know that for a fact.
So do you do group tutoring or is it one-on-one?
I do one-on-one.
Oh, wow.
So I'll do siblings together because it works easier for parents, but I do one-on-one sessions.
All right, so a parent is interested, and there's plenty, folks. You all know I've been pushing education. I don't mind paying for tutors. I think, and you were watching when I talked about
Yes.
an experience I had, and this is no shade on them. This is how they do their business, but it was a tutoring company. They wanted a whole lot of money, almost as much money as what you pay for private school, and honestly, it was more than what we pay in tuition.
Yep.
But my kid's education is more important to me than anything. They can have, my kid said he needed some new basketball sneakers or something. You know what my question was? Do the old ones fit? Because the old ones fit, you're going to play in those. You're going to be famous for those that you got on right there. They're going to know you coming because you're going to have the same sneakers on. Because I'm going to put money, I would rather put money into their education.
Yes.
So you people contact you. You have slots open now?
I have slots open now. Yes, I'm back open because I go to school online because I am in grad school too. So
Taking what?
I'm taking childhood education, birth through 6th grade, and then I'm also taking TESOL, K through 12. So TESOL is teaching students that come in from foreign countries English, K through 12.
Wow.
So I'll be dual
Do you know
certified.
you could move overseas?
Yes.
And you could teach overseas. Can you imagine waking up every day in Jamaica or
I would love
Bahamas or Dominican or, all these places? I know people who have gone
I would love it.
overseas
Yeah.
and just lived the life for several years and done it. How do they get in touch with you? Because I think this is important.
So they can contact me on my email, ashleejonees@gmail.com. So it's 2 E's in the first and last name.
Robin Worthy said, don't have time to play with anybody anymore. Stop these mind games and get some order. I'm trying to read.
This nonsense in this brutal world system, especially our blacks who need the most.
Help me, help us, please. This is needed. Legitimate people only with legitimate concerns, period. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about, but I'm sure there'll be some more. Kelly says Fox News, Facebook, and Trump supporters are the same. I stay off the page. I agree. If you don't like it, I don't have to see it. I'm coming back to you with tutoring real quick because I think this is so important. So you have your own company, your own business, and you have slots right now.
I have slots right
and
now.
you probably already said it. Say it again. How did they contact you? One more
You
time.
contact me on email, ashleejonees@gmail.com. And also, I'll be doing Saturdays too because I know that Saturdays are more flexible for people. So Saturdays are completely open as well.
Completely open.
Completely
All right.
open.
I might have somebody for you. I might have somebody for you. Another subject I gotta get to. Russia invading Ukraine. Now, somebody had on their page the other day. Robin Worthy is a she. Somebody had on their page yesterday explaining this Russia-Ukraine situation like a date. like you always wanted to go with me. I never
Right.
wanted to date you. Now you just kind of coming and taking me and thinking that I'm supposed to go. The reason we have to pay attention to Russia and Ukraine, number one is, and many of our troops are on the way over. Now they're not going to be in the ground fighting in Ukraine, allegedly.
Yeah.
However, I need folks to understand war is always about territory. Territory is always about money.
Yes.
Gas prices are going to go up.
Yep.
Like we already struggling. This thing is already tough. However, it's going to get worse. And if the United States goes in and sends ground troops into the war, it will literally be World War III.
Yes.
I mean, we can't catch a break here. As the pandemic is starting to go down, it's not gone, folks. Remember, it's not gone. Now you got our troops, and the ones who lose their lives the most are young people.
Yes.
Because they're the privates. They're the lowest ranking. They're the ones out on the front lines. So this is very, very serious. And we can't think about it, it's a foreign war. It is going to affect us locally. And we have a man in the Kremlin. We have a man in Russia who knows the codes to launch a nuclear weapon. Now, the nuclear weapon, and I don't want the FBI trying to look at the show. I'll just say, possibly, it doesn't have to just go toward Ukraine.
No.
No.
Because he has said specifically, any country that gets involved better watch out.
Yes.
Basically. So, and I think, like you said, it's about territories, about economics. Out of his own mouth, he basically said, I'm only doing this because I don't want Ukraine and NATO.
That's it. I don't want you dating somebody else.
That's it.
I don't want you date. So what I'm going to do, I'm coming back. You mine.
And I think people also have to realize, and I didn't realize this until last night either, Ukraine ain't some small Eastern European country.
It's the size of Texas.
It's the size of Texas. It is the largest country in Europe. I had no idea. I was thinking, that it's just a little attachment. No, it's pretty big.
And Biden, now he put these, put all of the stuff on them, and they're not going to be at a bank. And I don't think Russia cares. Because I just don't think they care. They want what they want. They're going all in for it. And this is going to be, Biden's going to have to, and our allies are going to have to make some moves.
Decision. And that's why I was almost late getting to the show. So, because they were talking about, right on CNN before we came on, two things that, and it's kind of weird. Ukrainian president says, I'm ready to start having conversations with the Kremlin.
Right.
At the same time, after the next commercial break, it's Russia is days away from taking over the capital.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm confused at what you're reporting from way over here because we're starting conversations But they're getting ready to take the cap.
Ain't no conversations.
No,
Ain't no
the
conversations.
conversations.
Ain't no conversations. It's like Ukraine is the abused girlfriend.
Yes.
Like, I'm just gonna beat you, and you're not going with nobody else. I refuse to let you date anybody else. So my prayers are with them. My prayers are with our troops, and people all over who are fighting for freedom of other people. I've been saying this for 11 years on the Common Council, even before I was the president. Is always praying for those, especially as a veteran who was active duty during the Grenada conflict. And so at the end of the day, these things hit differently for those of us who wore the uniform. Okay, wait a minute.
Well, before
Go
you
ahead.
transition,
Go ahead.
do you think America should be doing something else besides just the sanctions?
I think that everybody thinks they know what should happen. I think that we have some very intelligent people who are the head of our defense forces, who are in intelligence. I think that when it gets to that point, we will. I hope we will. And it's not just about war brings death.
Yep.
But it is about protecting the lives of the innocent.
Yes.
It's not about, for me, we need to beat them, we need to beat them up. I think you always avoid a fight if you can. Diplomacy is number one. But I think that from what I've seen, our president has been very, very diplomatic. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. We didn't start this war, and nor did Ukraine. So at the end of the day, I think that it's like the bully on the courtyard. And I've never been one to fight. To this day, I don't like controversy. I don't like fighting. You know me. I don't like conflict, right? Everybody who's been around me, you know. I want peace, harmony, love, That's me. I could have been a flower power kid back in the day with the Volkswagen and the dandelion, and I could have lived in a commune if I had my own bedroom and my own house. And never had to come out.
Wow.
But that's me. That's me. So when I get to the point where I have to fight, by the way, let me talk about what I want to talk about, because people have been calling me about St. John. So let me tell that story in a minute. I'm all over the place. The guy got $33 million from McDonald's. So when I get to that point, it's usually I've been pushed to a point.
Absolutely.
Because I'm the one that's always trying to forget, to let it go. It's just who I am. I don't even hold grudges. Like cause Mark knows, because Mark will be like, "What? You gonna do what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like that's okay."
Crazy.
I feel like people have the right to their opinion. See, I used to, when I was younger, let everybody's opinion, if it was different than mine, man, you get to a certain age and stage, you like, everybody has a right to their own opinion. St. John, let me get to that, because I did get several calls on this, and that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. St. John, and it's not St. John. Let me say this. McCarley Gardens belongs to I think it's Oak Development or whatever, which is a CDC.
Virginia Oak
right,
CDC.
Which is a community development arm of that was started by St. John. We did approve in one of the boards that I sit on $1 million, not grant, but $1 million for the redoing of McCarley Gardens, which is going to be much more than $1 million, right? I am thrilled about that project moving forward, because people will not have to move out of their houses. And the developers of the project are actually rebuild and building newer places.
Building 2 new buildings.
And putting in like really nice stuff.
Yes.
Okay. The end of the day, the rumor was out there that St. John sold McCarley. I want to make it plain of what it is. And I asked it yesterday in a public meeting. For 99 years, a company in New York is going to run McCarley Gardens.
Yes.
Oak Development or whatever it is, Virginia Oak, owns the land now. And that's how it was described. Mm-hmm. So they own the land. But the buildings, just like St. John Tower that is run by people in New York.
And I can give Capital Realty.
Capital Realty, go check the receipts. So will now, not by Capital Realty. This is a different company
BFC
that
Partners.
will run St. John, receive the revenue from McCarley Gardens for 99 years. That's the truth, and that's it. So if you call me, that's what I'm going to tell you, because that's what I've been told, and I've seen the receipts. So what I am grateful for, now I would have loved to see it remain in the hands of people who look like us.
Yes.
And people who are local. That wasn't my decision. That was a personal decision of that board to do it this way. However, where it will benefit people of color and people who need McCarley Gardens
Yes,
is that they will have McCarley Gardens for 99 years.
And like you said, the BFC Partners is the developer out of New York City. They have been very responsive. They have taken care of the tenants that are there. They came up with this very aggressive plan of building the 2 new structures, moving people there so they can start renovating. So, and when they first originally met with us, they said their goal was to keep everyone on site through the construction process. And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
So it looks like the name will stay the same. It'll still stay affordable, and that was my biggest problem. Whoever owns it, that's up to up to the CDC to decide that they wanted to let another company run it for 99 years. Now, none of us are going to be here in 99 years. So I'm not, but what I'm glad is that downtown Buffalo is not going to be gentrified to the place where when they were going to sell McCarley Gardens, and I went back crazy and ran for Ellicott District. I went back crazy. No sale. No, absolutely not.
And thank the community for standing up then, too.
The community stood right there with me, and I stood with them. Because UB wanted that land. They were going to make that medical campus right there then spread people out all over the place, and it didn't happen. So it's 12:58. Ashley, one more time. Tutoring. I ain't going to ask you how much because you ain't going to give your prices online.
No, not at all.
But I promise you it's not as much as that place I'm talking about.
No, he knows. He can verify.
Yes.
Is it affordable?
Yes, it is.
Take payments?
Yes.
Food stamps?
No.
Oh.
Hey,
Cash app.
Take the food.
Cash app.
Probably should. Gas card too.
Gas card. I got some stuff from my birthday. I got some gift certificates to Best Buy.
Amazon gift cards.
Amazon.
Oh, give them how to get in touch with you
You can
again.
contact me at ashleejonees@gmail.com.
All right, y'all. They're like, really, for real, get that. Hobson's Dr. Dry Cleaning. I was there yesterday. Matter of fact, I got a surprise for my son, whose dirty sneakers were up under my table. Were those yours, Jaden? Up under my table in my office?
Oh, boy.
Because they are gone. They're not? What color? White. Are those the ones I took the mud off the other night? Did you leave them here, church? Okay, taking too long. I took his sneakers. Oh, yeah. I put them in the cleaners for you. They'll be ready Friday. I took his sneakers to Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaning, because they do sneakers too. Sneakers, hats, clothes. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, so you can get your suit done. And then,
Final resting place.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. 3 locations to serve you. 347 Peckham, 2528 Bailey, 1275 Sycamore out. I couldn't even get everything out. In your hour of need, Brian K. Lewis. As a matter of fact, my son's mom, Craig's mom, has gone on to be with the Lord.
Yeah.
And Brian is taking great care of her. She was in Florida. Right away, Brian connected to the funeral home in Florida to bring her back here, hopefully today or tomorrow. So thank you, Brian. And then I got to go. Daisy Noley. And we acknowledge and Reverend Bishop R.L. Livingston. Until next week, power to the people.